All right, welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving deep, really deep, into a speech by the one and only Jim Rohn,
Oh, a legend.
a motivational legend.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's Jim Rohn at an Herbalife event. But here's the thing, even though it's at a product event, his message, it's so much bigger than just selling a product, you know? It's about that fire in your belly, that drive we all need to really make something of our lives, whatever it is we're going after.
And it's interesting because, even all these years later, decades later, Ron's words, they still hit home.
Yeah, don't they?
He just had this way of getting to those universal truths, right?
Yeah.
About us humans and how we chase after a life that feels good, a life that feels, I don't know, meaningful.
It's like he gives you the cheat sheet, the success cheat sheet, straight from the master himself.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to break down his wisdom on, well, everything. Facing those inner demons we all have, riding those waves of life, the ups and downs, you know how it is.
Yeah.
And why personal growth, that journey, why it matters so much.
And he does it all with, Jim Rohn, right? Straight talk, but you can relate to it.
Oh, absolutely. And right out of the gate, he hits us with this phrase, get serious. Bam. No messing around.
He gets right to it.
He does. It's like he's laying down the law saying, listen up. Life's not a game. There are high stakes here. And it's this constant battle, the best and worst happening all at once.
It's true.
It is.
It's like, he points out, here are people celebrating making $1 million. At the same time, others are just struggling to make ends meet.
Right.
Like a reality check.
It is. Makes you think, how serious am I really about what I want? Am I all in or just kind of floating along, hoping for the best?
Yeah.
I know I've been there.
I think, we all have those moments where we're just kind of coasting, especially when things are, comfortable.
Yeah.
But he's pushing us to break out of that, to own those ambitions, to really go after them.
And to do that, he says, get smart.
Got to have the knowledge.
You do. And he's all about constantly learning, right? It's not just about being pumped up. You got to have the knowledge, the skills.
Yeah.
He says, be a sponge. Soak up everything you can.
He even talks about seeing Mark Hughes, Mr. Herbalife himself, always with his nose in a book, studying, always learning.
You're always learning.
Yeah, and I think what's really insightful is he doesn't just say, read more. He talks about this learning laziness.
Learning laziness, huh?
Yeah, it's like when you kind of just, passively take in information, but you don't really do anything with it.
Oh, yeah. I've been guilty of that.
We all have.
It's easy to do. He's saying we got to be focused, dedicated to learning, And it's not just books and school. It's about squeezing the lessons out of every single experience, especially the screw-ups.
Oh, the failures.
The failures. Yeah. And he actually wants us to dissect them, figure out what went wrong so we can do better next time.
Makes sense.
Doesn't it? I love that. So thinking about you, is there any area in your life where maybe you could be more actively learning, like stepping outside that comfort zone a bit?
That learning laziness thing really hit me, I gotta say. I've been trying to be more aware of how I approach new stuff. Am I really getting it or just skimming? It's tough.
Oh, it's so easy to do that, especially these days with how much information's flying around.
Right. It's overwhelming.
It is. But Ron, he reminds us to, be active in our own growth.
Be in the driver's seat.
Exactly. So you've got the drive, you're getting smart, but then life throws you a curveball, right? How do you navigate that? Well, Ron says it's about this thing, your personal philosophy.
Oh, interesting.
He compares it to the sail on a ship, guiding us through the winds, And the winds, he says, they're basically the same for everyone, those challenges we all face.
He's not saying avoid the challenges, though.
No, he doesn't. He actually says something like, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better.
Oh, I like that.
Isn't that good? It's like instead of wishing for a smooth ride, work on being tough enough to handle anything.
Yeah, build up that strength, that resilience.
Yes.
He uses even Herbalife's own philosophy as an example. This idea of, hard work, constant improvement.
Always getting better.
Yeah, it's about creating a mindset that embraces growth, sees those challenges as a chance to, level up.
It makes you think about your own guiding principles, right? Like, what do you believe about work, success, life? Are those beliefs helping you or holding you back? It's a big question.
It is. It's about getting real with yourself.
Yeah.
Facing those beliefs that might be keeping you from, being your best self.
Totally. So you've got the drive, the knowledge, those guiding principles, but now what? Well, here comes another Ron classic. Get going.
Action time.
It is. He's like, all those brilliant ideas, they're useless if you don't do anything with them.
Right. Got to take action.
You do. It's about putting all that learning and motivation to work.
He's big on discipline. And this idea of like tackling the small stuff to build momentum, he uses this great analogy. Clean up your garage before you try to conquer a corporation.
Oh, I love that.
So true.
So relatable. I'm always putting off cleaning my desk thinking, oh, I'll do it later. But he's saying those small acts of discipline, they add up.
They do.
Yeah.
And it creates this feeling of like, I did it. And that helps you tackle the bigger things.
The bigger challenges, yeah. It's like training for a marathon, right? You don't just start running 26 miles.
No, you got to build up to it.
Exactly. So think about your own life, anything you've been putting off, those little things that bug you. Could those actually be the key to unlocking bigger goals?
It's easy to get overwhelmed by the big picture.
Oh, totally.
But sometimes just starting small, proving to yourself that you can do it, that's the key.
It's like building that muscle, that discipline muscle.
Absolutely.
And then Ron, he takes us on this journey through what he calls, get this, the 4 seasons of life.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, but before you think he's talking about actual seasons, he's not. He's using them as metaphors, starting with winter.
Winter, okay.
Yeah, and winter represents those tough times, the rough patches we all hit, the challenges.
It's like he's acknowledging that life throws you curveballs, things happen.
It does. Setbacks, disappointments, those times when it feels like nothing's going right.
Yeah.
But instead of wishing them away, he says, use them. See them as opportunities to grow.
I like that.
Don't you?
Mm-hmm.
He even shares his own story about overcoming stage fright as a speaker.
Oh, wow.
He didn't let fear stop him. He used each experience to get better, build up that resilience.
That's inspiring.
It is.
And he reframes these tough times as part of the process, like you got to go through them to grow.
Essential, yeah. He even says we should aim to come out of those winters wiser, stronger, and better.
I love that.
Me too. It's like, don't just survive. Use it to transform yourself.
Right.
Have you had any of those winters that, looking back, actually made you stronger? What helped you get through?
Oh, for sure. I think everyone has those defining moments, right?
Mm.
And yeah, looking back, it's often the tough times that taught me the most about, resilience, sticking with it, and how important it is to have people you can lean on.
Oh, that support system. So crucial.
So crucial.
Those winters, they're tough, but they can really shape us, make us stronger, more resilient if we let them, It's all about how we choose to see them and how we handle them.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then after those winters, those tough times, he says, come spring.
Spring.
Time for new beginnings and opportunities.
Fresh start.
But, and this is important, he's not saying things just get easier magically.
Right.
It's about taking action, seizing the moment when things are, lining up for you.
It's like that saying, fortune favors the bold or something like that.
Exactly.
You can't just sit around hoping for a better tomorrow. You got to make it happen.
You got to put in the work.
You do. He uses this analogy of a farmer planting crops. If you don't put in the work, you won't get a harvest, no matter how good the weather is.
It's true. You got to plant those seeds.
You do. And he also brings in this sense of urgency. These opportunities, they don't last forever.
They don't.
He's saying, life's short. Make the most of it. Don't let those chances slip away.
Yeah. Time keeps ticking.
It does. It makes me think am I really present in this springtime phase, Am I making the most of it or just letting things pass me by? Have you ever felt that everything's clicking and it's your chance to really go for it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. There have been times when I've felt that, that momentum, things falling into place. And looking back, it was so important to, to push myself, take advantage of those moments because as Ron says, those opportunities, they don't stick around forever.
They don't. So if you're feeling that spring energy right now, what can you do to really harness it, make the most of it?
I think it's about being intentional, set those goals, make a plan, and be open to new things. Take those calculated risks.
Don't let fear hold you back.
Exactly.
It's about saying yes to those opportunities that excite you, even if they're a little scary, because that's where the growth happens, right? Outside that comfort zone.
It is. It's like pushing your boundaries.
It is. And then after spring comes summer.
Summer.
A time for, he says, nourishment and protection.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. He's talking about taking care of what matters, those values, and protecting ourselves from all that negative stuff.
The bad vibes.
For bad vibes. And he points out our enemies, they can be external from the outside world, but also internal from within ourselves.
Oh, yeah, like our own doubts and fears.
Exactly. He uses this great analogy, white blood cells attacking infections.
Oh, wow.
He's saying we need to be just as vigilant about protecting our mental and emotional health as we are about our physical health.
Makes sense.
Doesn't it? It's like taking control of that inner world, He even talks about driving negative thoughts into a corner, not letting them run the show.
Oh, I like that. Like taking charge, not letting those negative thoughts control you.
Yes. It's about creating a positive space in your mind, defending against those self-sabotaging thoughts that can hold us back.
It's like creating a mental fortress, keeping those negative thoughts out.
It is. So I'm curious, what are some of those inner enemies you've had to deal with? And how do you fight those negative thoughts, that self-doubt?
For me, it's been perfectionism, that constant need for everything to be perfect.
Oh, I feel that.
It can be so paralyzing.
Oh.
But Ron's analogy, that driving negative thoughts into a corner thing, it really resonated with me because it's about acknowledging those thoughts, but choosing to focus on what's productive.
Onward and upward.
Exactly.
It's about recognizing that progress is more important than perfection.
And giving yourself permission to be human, make mistakes, and learn from them.
Embrace the journey.
Absolutely.
And then comes autumn. Harvest time.
Oh, okay.
This is where Ron says you got to own the results you create, the good and the bad.
Take responsibility.
He says if your harvest is poor, don't blame bad luck. Look at what you could have done differently.
It's about looking inward.
It is. He's like, don't complain about the outcome. Analyze what you could have done better. And on the flip side, he says, don't apologize for your successes. Own those achievements.
Like he's tying it back to that personal responsibility thing we were talking about.
It is.
We're in charge of our own lives. Our choices shape the results we get.
It's like he's saying, own your wins, learn from your losses, and keep moving forward. So thinking about your own harvests, what are you most proud of? And what lessons have you learned from those times when things didn't go as planned?
One of the biggest lessons for me has been the importance of perseverance, sticking with it.
Yeah.
There have been times when I wanted to quit, but Ron, he reminds me that those tough times, they're often where the real growth happens.
They are. It's like those challenges forge us, make us stronger.
It's about pushing through, learning, and coming out the other side stronger and more resilient.
It's about trusting the process, knowing there will be bumps along the way, but believing that with each step, you're getting closer to where you want to be.
It's about the journey, not just the destination.
Exactly. And that brings us to Ron's 4 powerful words for personal growth. Are you ready for this?
Hit me with them. I love how he breaks things down into these, actionable steps.
He does. Okay, so first, absorb. Be a sponge, soak it all up, information, experiences, wisdom, everything. But it's not enough to just take it in. You got to respond.
You got to do something with it.
Yes. And I love how he says, be present, engage with the world, let it move you, shape you.
Be an active participant in life.
Yes. And once you've absorbed and responded, it's time to reflect, take a step back, analyze, learn from it all, and figure out how to use those lessons moving forward.
It's like creating this feedback loop, constantly learning and evolving.
Exactly. And finally, he says, share. Don't keep it all to yourself. Spread that knowledge, those experiences, that wisdom.
Pay forward.
Yes. It's about recognizing that personal growth isn't just about you. It's about contributing to something bigger.
It's about creating a ripple effect, inspiring others to grow too.
Exactly. It's about making the world a better place, one step at a time.
It's about recognizing that we're all connected. We can learn from each other, support each other.
We're all in this together. And that brings us to Ron's final big call to action. Get excited.
But he's not talking about that surface level hype, the fleeting excitement.
No.
It's about that deep down passion, the kind that keeps you going, even when things get tough,
Yeah, like that fire in your belly.
Exactly.
He's talking about finding that thing that makes you jump out of bed in the morning, ready to go.
That thing that gives you that spark.
Yes. He wants us to really think about what motivates us, what gives our lives meaning. Purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all have times where we lose that spark, that excitement. What do you do to rekindle that flame when it happens to you?
I think for me, it's about connecting with my core values and then doing things that really align with those values. It's like remembering what's important to me and making sure I'm spending my time and energy on things that bring me joy, that make me feel fulfilled.
It's about being true to yourself. Walking a path that feels right, that resonates with those deep passions.
Exactly.
And once we found that inner excitement, that fire, Ron says, share it. Communicate, he says. Express yourself. Use the power of words.
He even talks about borrowing eloquence, using quotes or stories from others that resonate with us to, I don't know, lift people up, inspire them.
It's about finding those words that speak to us, even if we didn't come up with them ourselves, and using them to connect, to share our experiences, to offer encouragement.
Yeah, like sharing that spark.
Exactly. Has there ever been a time when you were really inspired by someone else's story, their words? How did it impact you? Did it make you want to take action, change something in your own life?
Oh, absolutely. I think we all draw inspiration from others, right? Whether it's mentors, friends, family, even historical figures,
Yeah.
Those stories, those words, they can be so powerful, giving us guidance, motivation, even a feeling of connection, like we're not alone.
And that can help us on our own journeys.
It can.
Yeah, it's like recognizing that we're all in this together, learning from each other, supporting each other along the way.
I love that.
And then finally, Ron tells us to get away.
Get away.
Yeah, he's talking about balance, making sure we're taking care of all parts of our lives, work, family, spirituality, friendships.
The whole picture.
The whole picture.
Yeah.
He even talks about how important his friendships were, especially with the Herbalife founders, how much they contributed to his success and happiness.
The power of connection.
It is. It's a reminder that we need those close relationships, those people who really know us and support us no matter what. Think about your own life. Are there any areas where you feel out of balance? Maybe you're neglecting one area while focusing too much on another. What could you adjust to bring more harmony into your life?
It's so easy to get caught up in work or other things and forget about those things that, truly nourish us,
Yeah.
I think it's about being mindful, making sure we make time for what matters, creating a life that feels balanced, fulfilling, without sacrificing our well-being for, any one goal.
It's about creating a life that feels authentic, true to you, where you're taking care of your relationships, pursuing your passions, and taking care of yourself, your mind, your body.
It's about creating a life that feels good inside and out.
Exactly. So there you have it, folks. We've gone deep into the wisdom of Jim Rohn, exploring his insights on getting serious, getting smart, getting going, getting better, and getting excited about life.
A lot of getting.
A lot of getting. And while we've only just scratched the surface, I hope this deep dive has given you some new ideas, some inspiration to take action in your own life.
What's so amazing about Ron's messages, it's timeless.
It is.
It's about those core principles of personal growth, those
Yes.
things that help us create a better life, no matter what our goals are, what we're striving for.
It's about remembering that we have the power to choose our own path, to learn from our experiences, to build a life that feels meaningful, a life that aligns with what we believe in, what we're passionate about.
It's about taking control, taking ownership.
It is. So as you go forward, remember Ron's words. Get serious about what you want. Get smart about how to get it. Get going. Take action.
Yeah.
And never stop trying to get better.
We're growing.
Keep growing. And most importantly, never lose that excitement, that passion for life.
That's what fuels us.
It does. It's what helps us create a life that truly lights us up, a life that we love.
A life worth living.
Absolutely. So until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep getting excited about life.